Hey guys, Cam here from 9 to 5 Google, and you may remember a few months ago I checked out the Moto X Play, and while some of its features were generally quite good considering the price, there was a lot left to be desired, especially on the performance front. Now that Marshmallow is rolling out and I've managed to manually install it onto my Moto X Play, I felt like we should revisit this handset because with Android 6.0 it is a completely different machine. Now, my biggest struggle with the Moto X Play running Android Lollipop was that so many apps wouldn't load data every now and then. Despite having a good Wi-Fi or cellular connection, it's like the X Play just couldn't cope with the information. A lot of the time it was apps like Instagram or eBay or Yahoo News Digest, anything that required the internet to download information to display it on the page. You'd open them up and end up looking at a spinning loading disk for a minute or so before it just gave up. And likewise, I would often see stutter or lag when I was scrolling through various apps and screens. But with Marshmallow on exactly the same hardware, I've not had any of those issues. The closest thing I came to that kind of experience was that the Instagram profile thumbnails didn't load for a few seconds. Now, the next biggest improvement, one which wasn't entirely necessary but appreciated nonetheless, was doze mode. The X Play has a beefy 3630 mAh battery, which in my experience got me through 2 days of use and over 5 hours of screen on time. With those, the screen on time is not affected, but you do get much better standby time. If you're a moderately light user like me, this will easily give you a few hours extra between charges, maybe even up to half a day extra. Now thirdly, this was a big deal to me because the unit that I have only has 16GB of storage. That actually only leaves you about 11GB that you can use once you take into account all the system and settings and everything that's already on there before you even start using it. Now with adoptable storage, you can adopt a micro SD card as internal memory. So now, with a 32GB micro SD card, I have about 40GB to play with, and that is fantastic. With Android Marshmallow, the X Play is a much better smartphone, no question, but it's still far from being anything close to a flagship device. It's just a much better mid-tier phone than it was before Android 6.0 became available. So now, this Moto X Play with Marshmallow installed is actually worth the money, and I wouldn't hesitate to recommend it to anyone, as long as you weren't particularly bothered about camera performance and you wanted a stock Android experience. It's actually not bad. I've been Cam, I'm at Cam Bunton, and I'll see you again soon.